What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to yet another stream. It's been way too long, of course. Oh, let me oh no. My entire light. My light is not doing great. Wait. Oh, it's completely gone now. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. That's a little scary. It was a little scary. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Great start to the stream so far. We have a couple of minutes until we actually get the data. Right now we are seeing a bit of a pullback, as you can see. I wanted to initially just do this. I think that's better. Let me quickly notify everyone that we're live, though. That's the first thing I want to do. There we go. Voila, there, and there, and there, and there, and then last but not least on X, and then we are ready to get into this. We have data coming out, like I said, in 8 minutes it seems. We're talking about the PCE price index data, as you can see right here, which is basically inflation rate data. It is from back in it's from back in September though, so it's old data, but it's the best data we can get. Okay, and we would like to see some lower data right there. It would be great, even if it's in hindsight, and even if it's a little bit older. It would be amazing to see that. So we'll see how the market reacts in general. I mean, look, the NYO has just happened. We're getting quite a lot of volatility already, as you can see. The volume that we've just seen in the last 30 minutes has been the highest volume we've seen since Wednesday. Pretty high. I expect it to get even higher over the course of the rest of the US session. Obviously, it's a Friday. Friday is usually quite volatile, so that is also something we can look forward to and talk about a little bit more, but that's what we're going to do in the stream. I won't make it too long this stream because I also do still want to make a middle of the day market updates a little bit later, talking about the usual business, and there's also some other fundamentals that I wanted to talk about that I'm not sure if this live stream is suited for that, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, if we look at Bitcoin right now, by the way, it's holding on relatively well. I mean, this was all expected, right? If you watch my video. If you watched my videos over the last couple of days, you knew that we always expected a pullback. So far, we're holding the 7-day rolling VWAP with quite a lot of volume. It's pretty good news. Okay, if we're already getting so much bidding and so much buying resistance at the 7-day rolling VWAP, even though we still have support right here at 89,000, we have support right here at 88,000. Push comes to shove, we even have support at 87,000. So that's pretty good news. Sui is actually bouncing relatively well, which is nice because I have a position on Sui. But you can see right here that we actually have a growing short positioning on Bitcoin right here. You can see that the CVD is continuously dropping down while the open interest is rallying up. So it's going to be interesting to see whether those shorts get rewarded or not after this news. And how sticky they are, right? I mean, if we get bad news and the shorts are not closing, then maybe the shorts are a little bit stickier and they're meant for the weekend in case we can still see a bearish Friday, right? I mean, a bearish Friday is actually not that strange of a thing, but okay. Okay, welcome to the stream, everybody. Ryan, good to have you back. Fufu, welcome to the stream. Bruno, welcome to the stream. Stein, welcome to the stream. If the core PCE price index is higher than expected, generally that is slightly bearish. Will that matter a lot? Like, will that mean that Bitcoin is not going to rally up higher? In my opinion, no. I mean, when we take a look at the probability, wrong side. When we look at the probability of getting a rate cut next week Wednesday, when the Federal Reserve interest rate decision meeting is, the probability at this point of time is 87.2%. Now, that is a little bit lower, as you can see, than where it was the 4th of December, yesterday. And it's a little bit lower as well than what it was 2 days ago. So that's a bit of a bearish development. But ultimately, It doesn't matter that much. It's still pretty good. It's very high, right? So and the thing also is that the PCE price index that we're getting is from September. Like, are they really going to change their decision, or are they really going to change their thoughts on whether they should cut rates, yes or no, based on data from September? It matters. Will it influence decision making? No. So it will also like it does matter for the whole image. But I doubt that it's going to change a lot. But it is going to bring about quite a lot of volatility. I mean, Wednesday and Thursday were low volume, low volatility, low liquidity. And now we are entering major news. And we're also entering Friday. The US session on Friday is usually quite volatile, right? I mean, if we go back to Friday last week, you can see that we had that big fake out. If you look at the Friday before that, you can actually, no, that's actually right here. If you look at the Friday before that, we had the crash. So a lot of things can happen. That's going to be interesting. We have about, what is it, like 3 minutes left. One Meister, welcome to the stream. Pepe Ramirez, Rahwendra, welcome to the stream. User 96631, welcome to the stream. Hattie, welcome to the stream. Laurens, welcome to the stream. Stein, welcome. Well, I already welcomed you, I think. Truls Peterson, welcome to the stream. And Bodhi, what's up? How are you? So what we want to see with the news is lower. We want to see lower than expected data from the PCE price index and from the core PCE price index. But like I said, I mean, I think short term it's going to be more volatility. And I think it's unlikely that we're going to see a major change in direction, right? I mean, the direction for Bitcoin to me is still pretty clear. I don't think we're going to be very bullish, and I don't think we're going to get into a massive uptrend. But I do think we can slowly but surely grind up higher, and then eventually, boom, we're going to go down again. Unfortunately, that is what I do expect. But you know, we can hope that it doesn't happen. We can hope. Raika, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Reed, welcome. Yeah, Netflix, Bodhi. I saw that you talked about it in the chat. I don't know. It seems like normal price action, to be fair. It seems a little bit like it. Ali, welcome to the stream. Did you see the Pope, Ali? I saw you visited Lebanon. Goedemorgen. Good morning. If this is your good morning, Svi, it's a very late morning for you, and I believe we are in similar time zones. Monica, welcome to the stream. Curtis, welcome. Good to have you. Those the indicators for the order book depth, etc. Well, the news is almost coming, so I have to keep my eyes on the news as well. But the indicators are all on Kiyotaka AI, so it's just on Kiyotaka AI. You can DM me about this as well if you want to, and then it's just the order book depth, right? It's just standard order book depth, and then it takes into account Binance and Bybit. Maybe I should also add Coinbase, but I'm not certain if that actually brings about good. Yeah, okay, no, Coinbase with it is fine as well. Data in 38 minutes, 38 seconds. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. We've already had some up and down volatility. Correlation is quite high. Let me quickly copy paste the address as well in the Daniel, welcome to the stream. Well, let me also copy paste the website link real quick so you can see it in real time if you care about that. I mean, maybe not. And then we'll take a look at the chart and we'll talk about what this means. We're also going to get consumer sentiment and factory orders, personal spending. We'll see. We will see. It's going to be interesting nonetheless. 1 second, and there we go. Let's get some data again. It's always nice to get some live data. Bitcoin is moving up in real time. Core PCE price index is as expected month on month. In Michigan, consumer sentiment is higher than expected. Can we actually get some updated data right here, please? Is it all as expected? It seems to all be as expected, but it's a little bit slow. Bitcoin is slightly moving up on the news, which makes me think that it is slightly bullish. But as far as I can see, I mean, I'm not getting the data. I'm trying to refresh my FX book, but it's not refreshing. Well, great. Great. Let me see if I can find something else. FX Street or something. Do, 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 do. Has this loaded already? Yeah, okay, we have the data. So, going over the data, personal income, core PCE price index year on year is actually a little bit lower than expected. Okay, well, that's slightly bullish. That's actually slightly bullish news. I would love to see the factory orders month on month a little bit as well. But no, ultimately it's pretty good. Yeah, neutral body. I would say it's neutral to bullish. It's just that it's not a major result. I mean, if we go over everything right now, PCE price index month on month in September was as expected. Personal spending was revised to be lower in August. Which potentially is a good thing. I mean, personal spending really doesn't matter that much for, the PCE price index matters much more. PCE price index year on year was as expected in September. Core PCE price index month on month was also as expected. Personal income month on month was a little bit higher than expected, which is not necessarily a bad thing if personal spending doesn't increase that much. And core PCE price index year on year was lower than expected. And then the Michigan consumer sentiment, although it doesn't matter that much, okay, what is going on? There we go. Although it doesn't matter that much, it's good to see that a little bit higher than expected. That's ultimately, that's not bearish. I mean, any good news we can get, we'll take it. Raika, you could be right. You could be right. Then, but we'll see, right? I mean, if the inflation or if the personal spending is a little bit higher in December, that's always calculated into the expectation already, right? So then the good old trick of is it higher or lower than expected, that still matters a lot. That still matters most. But the price is moving up quite nicely because of it. It's just like this price action is very low volume. There's almost no volume in this price action right here. But no, I mean, the news is slightly bullish. It's been a while since we actually had lower than expected inflation rate data, so it's pretty good. I mean, Bitcoin is actually moving up quite nicely. We have that single print right here at 91,750. If we are going to reclaim that, that would be the best case scenario, right? So we're seeing some bullish momentum right here with the bearish pressure that we had earlier in the morning. We created a single print, and in general, it's also a relatively relevant level right here. If you look at the balance that we formed, the key zone right now for Bitcoin, if we really want to see an end of week rally, is this level right here between 92 and 91,700. If we're able to reclaim that, then we can rally, then we can break above the 30-day rolling VWAP. But like I said, I mean, look, the news is good. The news is definitely not bad. It's bullish news. If I would have to pick bullish or bearish or neutral, I would say it's bullish. But does it matter that much? No, it doesn't. Okay, unfortunately, and it does matter enough that I thought I want to stream about it. Although I missed all of you as well, so that's another reason for the stream. But ultimately, if you take a look at the if you take a look at the probability right here that we're going to get a rate cut, it's still the same. And I would think that it is also still the same on Polymarket. Polymarket is sometimes a little bit quicker with this stuff. So let me see if we can find that. Let me see. Yeah, no, okay. On Polymarket, it's a little bit higher, I think. Yeah, it's minimal. On Polymarket, the probability that we are going to get a 25 base points cut with the next meeting went up from 93 to 94%. So there you have it. The probability that we're going to get a rate cut next week Wednesday is slightly higher, but it went from high to higher. There's no major change in that. For anybody who's tuning into the stream a little bit later, first of all, welcome to the stream. Second of all, we had data, we had PCE price index and core PCE price index data. Overall, it is slightly bullish. The one of the most important data points out of the entire data set is the core PCE price index year on year, and that was for September. It's older data, that was 2.8%. So what that has caused is a bullish reaction in the markets, which is actually gaining some volume right here. The volume for this move right here is shaping up to have a little bit more volume over the entire candle than expected. And it also increased the probability of getting a rate cut next week, which is all good news. I mean, the one fear that I had going into this data was that the inflation rate was going to be higher than expected, and that all of a sudden we had to doubt about whether we were going to get a rate cut next week or not. And I think that's one of the key things about this news, is that right now it seems very certain to me that we're going to get a rate cut. So that's good news. Now, when we are talking about the markets, though, it is certainly not certain what's going to happen. Bitcoin has seen a strong reaction right here from the 7-day rolling VWAP, from the 382 FIB. We're also gaining volume by the minute, so that is pretty good. But a Friday evening is pretty volatile, and a Friday evening is also quite tricky. Okay, so for me, I'm look. My thoughts on Bitcoin have not changed, right? My thoughts on Bitcoin in the past week or so have been the same, and that is that I think short to medium term we can expect more bullish momentum, right? And that is how I view Bitcoin, and that is how I'm trading the market right now as well. But when we really zoom into Bitcoin, and as you can see, the entire market is very correlated to Bitcoin. So therefore, understanding what Bitcoin is going to do and understanding Bitcoin's price action right here, that also gives you the keys to understanding what altcoins may do. And for me, as long as Bitcoin has not reclaimed 91,750, I would not assume that Bitcoin is just going to be bullish for the entire rest of the day. I would assume, as long as we are below that we can actually pull back lower. Don't forget that sometimes when we get good news, that's actually being used as liquidity for sellers to sell into. And we actually have seen, I mean, right here you can see some shorters that were most likely expecting some bad data. Those have exited their position, so that's good. But we have seen some more selling coming into Bitcoin over the course of the last 2 days, right? So it's absolutely, even though the news is good, and even though the rate cut next week, that's good as well, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin will now just easily rally, especially given the fact that those single prints are still to the downside. So I'm actually, it's maybe a little bit controversial, but I would say, at the moment, it is more likely we're going to pull back lower, okay? And the one reason for that is, it's the timing, okay? It's a Friday, and it's the fact that we have not reclaimed 91,800. Would I short right now? Certainly not. My short to medium term bias from the markets is bullish, and we just got good news, okay? Shorting from the current prices, at least, I don't think is a good idea. However, I would say that it's better to be safe than sorry, especially going into this weekend, especially given the market circumstances over the course of the last, the cam froze. It's good again right now, but it's, I'm not sure why the camera keeps freezing. My camera might be a little bit too old. It might be getting old. I lost my train of thought, but ultimately, look, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I think if you zoom out on the market right now, like would you really want to have major long orders open going into the weekend? Probably not. I do think a long bias, a bullish bias is the way to go right now short term. But that doesn't mean that you can just be careless about it. Definitely not. So, I think we are going to end the stream with that. I mean, it's a relatively short stream, but we covered the news. Are there any requests? Are there any questions about the current markets? We'll take some time for that. Pengu, I had that on the screen right now. Pengu, we broke out initially, but it seems to me right now that Pengu has fallen back down into the range right here. So, look, Pengu is interesting, but it's not outperforming the market right now. I would keep my eyes on this level right here between 0.0107 and right here with the value area low at 0.05. 0.1 or 0.105, right? That's the area where I would potentially scale into a buy order. That was also the area where I was looking at, because I actually was looking at a Pengu order earlier this week. But I don't know. It's at the moment it's just not that interesting. Zcash. Look, Zcash, I am not certain. We broke out. We held the breakout relatively well. As you can see, we had this value area right here. We tested that value area slightly here with the spike down. So far, we're holding it. The thing is that when we're talking about Zcash right now, like, yes, we broke out, and that's all good news, and that's good to see. But the upside is relatively limited. The upside for me is like a 12 to 18% move into the upside, and the potential downside is also 18 to 19 to 20%. So personally, I'm being a little bit greedy, and I'm waiting for some sort of a spike back down into 300, into 280, and then I will talk about, or then I will think about buying into Zcash again. Right now, there's just a couple of other positions that I think are more interesting, and that can provide a better reward for my investment. Sonic seems to be dead. Unfortunate, because I really had some high hopes for the project, but it seems to be dead. There's at least no indication at this point of time that Sonic is going to do anything. So I would indeed ignore it for a bit. Luna Classic. Let's see, Luna Classic. Yeah, so Luna Classic. Wow. Okay, that is not bad. Look at that move. It's incredible. I don't know. I don't know about this. I mean, I would wait for a pullback, but I do think that the volume is so incredibly high right now that a pullback is quite interesting. Don't short this. I think it goes without saying, but don't short this. And then an interesting area to potentially scale in would be like 3.8, 3.6. It's nice to see this for sure. I did not expect it this morning. But you should know that even though this is a very strong pump, and I do think we can pump higher after some sort of a pullback, so that's certainly interesting, but it is still Luna Classic. Okay, so please don't forget that. Let's see. What more do we have? Quant. Quant, the last time I looked at it was relatively bearish. It's been very strong, of course, but you can now see with Quant that we had some sort of a blow off top. Since then, we started losing volume, we started losing momentum. We have those imbalances to the downside, of course, still, and now we've also closed back in balance, right? So you can see the blue line right here. That's the value area high. You can see the yearly rolling VWAP. You can see the 7-day rolling VWAP. It seems to me that we are going to be trending down lower, unless we get some sort of a strong break above $100 again, but that seems unlikely. I think it's more likely that we'll do something like this, right? And pull back into 89, pull back into 84, and then maybe from there we can actually talk about potentially entering Quant again, because ultimately Quant is, it's not a bad chart, and we have seen a lot of momentum, and momentum in these market circumstances is something you should treasure, of course. Let's see. Let's do one more, because then I have to make my middle of the day market update, guys. I hope you can excuse me for that. But who asked first? Let me see. It's Monad from Lars. Let's talk about Monad real quick. So Monad, look, I'm waiting for two things. With Monad, it's very clear. Like it's definitely not the best position right now for Monad. But there's two reasons or two scenarios in which I would buy. And that's, this is not what I want. I want to see this. Thank you very much. If Monad is able to reclaim 2.8 cents, okay, so if we can get some sort of a reclaim with volume like this, then I will buy Monad. It's basically a reversal back into the balance, and you can trade it all the way up to the value area high, which is sitting at 3.1 cents. Or there is still a strong support level that we have at 2.25 cents. If we get some sort of a flush spike down into that level in a reclaim, that's also a reason or a scenario in which I would buy Monads. But at the moment, it's kind of in between those two areas where it's basically not interesting to, neither interesting to buy nor it is to short. But shorting at the moment is in general, I'm not sure if it's the best decision. Okay, we're going to end it with that. Chainlink, Blago, I made a video on that 2 days ago, I think. That is still very relevant, so make sure to check that out. But for those who are joining the stream late, we got some good news today. It was mildly good news, but still good news. And that has caused the probability of getting a rate cut next week to increase. And that has caused some bullish momentum for Bitcoin. However, as long as Bitcoin has not reclaimed 91,700, 91,800, it is best to have a short-term bearish bias to fill those imbalances lower at 89 and 88,000. Although it is better medium-term after that pullback to have a slightly bullish bias. Those are my thoughts. We're going to end it with that. It was a fun stream, short but sweet. And I'll work on my middle of the day market update. It's probably live in about an hour, maybe 45 minutes or so. So keep an eye on the channel for that. There we will do another brief recap, and there we will also talk about a couple of more altcoins that I think you need to focus on at the moment and where there are some opportunities. So it's going to be very interesting. Thank you for being here, everybody, and of course, in advance, have a good weekend, and to all the Dutch and Belgium listeners, fijne Sinterklaas. I'll see you all soon.